typically fall somewhere in the middle. So there is a chance that she might kind of sort of live or kind of mess with those stitches. Where they are, it might be hard for her to get access to them quite flexible. But if it is in a spot where she can't get it, then we probably think about kind of almost treating or so like a whole lot more friction, maybe the other tigers that they're not or anything else along those lines.
So put the other tiger.
That's a good question. So that's actually in our expertise. But I guess you guys are kind of a little bit better. Now, the question was if she does have stitches somewhere and she's interacting with the other tigers, could they possibly come up and maybe sort of groom her and then involve grooming some of those stitches? Now, if we're concerned about that, if the keepers think, it's pretty common that the other tigers Bala lives with do a lot of grooming of one another, well, what we might decide is, let's maybe keep Bala kind of next to those tigers for a few days, but in a separate habitat or a separate home, just so that way we don't run that risk of them coming in and taking the stitches out for us. Now, I honestly don't know how Bala interacts with those others when it comes to grooming, if that would even be an issue. Bala is definitely one of our most ferocious tigers. She is the tiniest of the tigers, but she is the sassiest. So, I don't know if the other tigers are even brave enough to come up and try to groom her, honestly. Now, she does seem to really like spending a lot of time by herself. She is a strong, independent woman, good for her, so she probably wouldn't mind, too, if she got a little bit of extra alone time away from them as well. So the keepers will really look at her from an overall behavioral picture and decide what's really going to be best for Bala. Should she have a little bit of time away from the other tigers, or do we want to put her right back in with them today? And they'll make that call once she gets back home, talking with the vets. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, one more.
Okay, one more question. Go. You can have 20 more questions. Go for it. This is fun.
Okay, so what's that bloody spot, like her lower back?
Ooh, what's that spot on her lower back? I think that might actually be an IV. Actually, no, that's one of our little tools that's used to kind of monitor her heart rate, it looks like. So I think you're seeing the tool that's going, that kind of gray long tube that's connected to it, right? Yeah, so that's a wire that goes all the way over here to a machine that's helping to monitor her heart rate, her breathing, and some of her additional vitals. But we also have an IV that's kind of hooked up down over here at the other end as well. You guys can see where that's connected to this big bag up there that's hanging. So that's giving her some additional fluids. They're going to help to keep her nice and hydrated too, because when she wakes up, Bala might not feel like eating or drinking for a while, and those fluids will also help to flush out any residual anesthetic that she still has in her system. My other microphone. No worries. Look. In the magic of TV, I am no longer mic'd up 2 times. Here, Taylor, you need to borrow this.
Oh, yes.
Just.
Yep.
Thank you. Alrighty. Now, like I was saying earlier, Bala is the only procedure that we have scheduled in the hospital today. However, that does not mean that she will absolutely be the only animal here at Busch Gardens that we're seeing in the hospital. Now, this is the working hospital for the park, so we will do things like yearly checkups and exams early in the morning, specifically so if we have an emergency in the afternoon, we've got time and space for those animals to come in. So this is a really cool building that you guys get to see all of these things, but again, the reason we try to schedule everything so early is just because of the fact that if we do have one of those emergencies pop up, we need to make sure that the room is open and it's clear. Now, you never know what might happen, so we need to be prepared for any and all scenarios. A great example we had about 3 or 4 years ago, I was working here on Christmas Day and thinking, man, it's going to be a slow day in the hospital, everything's going to be fine. And then, surprise, surprise, one of our cheetahs was playing around with her friends and she ended up slipping, falling, and she actually injured her pelvis and we had to bring her in for emergency surgery. So it was a pretty cool, exciting day, and it was right in the middle of the afternoon on Christmas Day, so that was stressful for all of us, but she did just fine, and it was a really cool thing that everybody got a chance to see. It was about 3 or 4 hours she was in during the afternoon.
So with this, would they have people at night watch her in case something?
That's a great question. Would we have people stay overnight to kind of keep an eye on Bala to see how she's doing? Oh, and quick interjection, it looks like we're about to take Bala's temperature, which involves not going from the mouth, but the other end. So, the question was, would we have people stay overnight to monitor her for those stitches and things like that? For something so small like this, in all likelihood, probably not. Unless the keepers notice as the day goes on, she's just not recovering well, she doesn't seem like she's feeling good. In that case, we probably would have people stay overnight. But unless there was really a major medical reason for that, we typically wouldn't have keepers here 24/7. It's a lot of times I like to use the analogy of kind of our own animals that we have at home, you know. If your animal's doing well, a lot of times, you know, you make sure they're doing okay, you then have to go out to work, and then as soon as you come back from work, you immediately check on them to make sure they're okay. Now, if your animal's sick or really, really weak or really injured, you're going to stay with them. You're going to take time off work, and you're going to stay home just to make sure they're okay. And we're kind of similar in that sense, in that we don't normally have people here around the clock, but if, say, an animal's about to give birth at any moment, or we have an animal with a severe injury, we probably will have people to stay and monitor them just to make sure they're going to be okay. And we always have veterinarians who are going to be on call as well. In case any of those issues arise, we'll be able to care for them no matter what happens. Oh, in the habitats. You know, we don't for all of the habitats. Maybe for some of the behind-the-scenes habitats we do. But there have been times where we've installed cameras as well, too. So, case in point, one of our sloths, Daisy, was actually pregnant about 2 or 3 years ago. And it was really exciting because we actually were able to track her pregnancy from start to finish. No one had ever really been able to figure out for sure how long sloths were pregnant for. Some research said 6 months, some research said up to almost a year. So, a bit of a difference in there, you know, which is it? So we were able to train her for voluntary ultrasounds. She came up to the hospital and we did an ultrasound on her once a week. But we also installed cameras into her habitats, just so that way we did have people staying around the clock overnight just to make sure she was okay, but also so we had a video documentation of everything that was going on. And also so we could try to catch that birth on camera if we could. That would kind of help us get a little bit more information for the future too, and how to provide even better care for our sloths if the situation arose.
One time I came in and they were doing like a checkup on a bird.
On a bird? That's pretty cool.
On like its wing.
On its wing, well, you know, I bet what you saw is one of the wildlife cases. So every year we see up to about, say, 500 to 600 wildlife cases. So these are animals that get hurt outside of Busch Gardens and are then rescued and brought to us for treatment, rehabilitation, helping them get better, and then released back out into the wild whenever possible. So in the case of the bird that you saw, this was probably one that had an injury to its wing. It's probably had a broken wing, or maybe an issue going on with that wing where it needed to have some physical therapy. So a lot of times after a bird has a broken wing, we want to keep that wing wrapped up and cast and held very close to their body so that they're not breaking or re-injuring at home. But every 3 days we have to bring them into the hospital and stretch that wing out, run it through a full range of motion just to make sure that bird can still extend its wing and can fly at the end of the day. So that's probably what you saw actually. They're one of the various kind of wildlife cases that we see. Pretty cool to watch. Now this is not a bird. This is a tiger for everyone who just joined us. Hello. So again, my name is Trevor. I'm one of the zoo educators here in the park. So I'll sort of be giving you guys all a running commentary of everything that you're seeing happen. Bala here is one of our female Bengal Tigers, about 12 years old. She's getting a comprehensive yearly checkup today. So we're checking her out from top to bottom. We were cleaning her teeth, taking x-rays, taking blood samples, urine samples, and also taking some small biopsies. You can see Dr. Pete over there had a couple surgical tools. We found probably maybe like a suspicious little bump on Bala, maybe sort of like a strange looking hole. And we went ahead and we took a sample of that today to send down to Dr. Nancy, our pathologist, in the end of the hallway. So that way she can tell us exactly what's going on with Bala. You know, if we did find a suspicious mole, is it something very severe? Is it cancerous? Or is it something more benign, like maybe just a fatty little lump of tissue? So, a very, very useful in-house resource that we have today. There were one or two that it looked like she had. I think there was one on her side, and I thought that I saw that there was maybe one on her back too, possibly, which she might have already gotten a sample of that already. I was able to see a little bit earlier. Oh, the tail, yeah, there might have been one down there too. So now when Zara came up, another of our female tigers, she came up, I think last week sometime. She also came up for a yearly exam, and she also is an older tiger, about 12 years old. And we did a very similar thing where we found a small kind of bump on her, so we went ahead and removed that. So we can send that down to our lab to figure out what's going on. So with Bala, probably something very similar to what's going on right now. I haven't heard just yet, but I haven't heard anything concerning, so I think it was probably just a fatty little bump. So, or basically kind of sort of like a small hole, if you will. I'm sorry? Is she spayed? I believe Bala is spayed. I don't know.
You don't get to see that every day. Taking samples from moles to make sure they're not cancerous. An annual checkup for a female tiger. Let's go explore some more.